quick everyone, before this video actually gets started and before I jump into it, I just want to say thank you guys so much for all the amazing support y'all have been giving me over the last few weeks and during streams and during videos. Now I'm probably going to be rambling during the rest of this whole video after me going through it and editing it and looking at all of it. I did a lot of rambly rambles, so keep in mind that I'm very sorry that if that is what happens, but I hope you guys enjoyed the review video. It's the first time I've ever done it, and I will see you guys in the next one. I love your faces, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Bye-bye. Hi there, everyone. Welcome to a video I wanted to do after pretty much completing Eastward and the entirety of Eastward. So, or at least what the game had to offer. And I was mostly curious that, as I played it, I never found a lot of stuff that popped up on YouTube or anywhere else. And I was curious as to why no one really talks about this game. This game, and I know there's two of me, but this game is possibly one of the best games I've played in a long time, and I cannot express how much I enjoyed it. There's a lot of little things that are minor details that kind of irk me while I played the game, but you find that in every game. No game is perfect to the T. But as for a modern, masterpiece, right? Eastward really takes the cake. And I just wanted to state, go over my reasons, maybe talk about some of the characters, and not really go into spoiler territory, but I do want to talk about the characters and what have you, and why I think people should play this game. Or at least, is it worth playing? Is Eastward worth playing? Is it worth your time? Is this game worth, you wanting to give it a try, right? And that's kind of what this video is going to be. So sit back, relax, and I hope that I don't make a horrible review video. So, the first character I want to talk about, because I want to get right into the characters, right? The characters are very important when you're playing a game. And in a game like this, I felt like, honestly, my main protagonist, John, was honestly just really fun. He comes off as a kind of the stereotypical protagonist who doesn't do a lot of talking, but he's more than that. He's got tons of titles that he ever so grows under his belt as you progress in the game. And it just makes his dorky appearance more fun to look at, in my opinion. I mean, a man walking around with a frying pan, beating up creatures and monsters, and then going out of his way to cook is an amazing treat. And I love it. I think not, and I'll get into the overall aesthetic of how I love the look of the game later, but John, he's a great protagonist. I feel like there's something deeper as I played the game, and I don't really think this is much of a spoiler, but he comes off as the, de facto father of Sam, and kind of is like the teacher and mentor of her, in a way. Even though John follows what Sam says a lot, which, after beating the game, makes me question a little bit of things, maybe a little fishy, but that's only because of how the game ends, and I can't really say too much about that. But ultimately, John is a fun character to have, and he's just a fun character to play as. As a person who normally only ever plays as female characters in games, and this being one of those games where it's like, oh, you're a guy character, I enjoyed John as a playable character, and yeah, I like all the little bombs and all the different bombs that we get to use. The different technology as we progress the game is also really fun. He's like your stereotypical, game character that you play as. And there's nothing wrong with that, because in my opinion, this game sets him up more as a man who's, it feels like, has lost a child in the past. but not really, I guess. I mean, he has kinda, but you know, it's a bit hard to explain that, yeah. But it's kind of like the whole Logan and his kid thing, from Wolverine to a certain degree. He gives off those vibes where, you know, my kid. I don't know if I'm doing a good job explaining. I'm sorry, guys. Oh my goodness. All right. So, I'm going to talk about Sam for a little bit. Sam is a bit of a hard character for me to talk about without spoiling a lot of the story. But essentially, the short and skinny of it is Sam is a child that you find in a pretty much a uh, giant yellow orangish tube, and she pretty much kind of John takes her in, and she's kind of like his kid. I mean, she's stereotypical kid, but like she is overly excited about everything in the world. She's hyper fixated. She's ready to adventure, and yeah, and it's just nice to see a character like that. I guess maybe it's just been a while since I've played a game where I like a character like Sam, but overall, I genuinely felt like I wanted to protect the character, which is something you need in a video game where I'm having to pretty much make sure that I care about the life of this child, right? Like, as I'm running around playing and doing what I have to do. Sam is that kid for me. I genuinely felt like this was my child, and I would get upset anytime something bad would happen to her. I would protect her. I'd go out of my way, and I'd be like, "Yeah, no, we got this. Don't worry." uh, she has a power that pretty much can block off some of the evil darkness. I can't go into too much detail, guys. Spoilers, what have you. But overall, and uh, without over explaining, Sam is just a fun character. She is pretty much your other player that you swap in and out of during the game. And this is a mechanic mostly to solve puzzles. And as you progress in the game, they get a lot harder, at least for me, because I'm a bit slow. Overall, though, her design is really fun, really childlike. I honestly, I love it. I wanted to protect. I'm like, no, small child. You touch the child, you die. Don't touch the child. But as a character, yeah, no, Sam actually made me want to care about her as in the game, and I wanted to genuinely protect her, which is something I don't see. What's a good? Let's put Borderlands 3 for example. In that game, there is a character that you meet who is obnoxious. She is Maya's like protege, correct? And I felt no purpose to protect that character. That character was obnoxious, annoying, and did not deserve to be protected, and spit on the face of, well, what was pretty much a good character. Maya was a good character, an established character. And in this, though, Sam is, like, she's not horrible. She's not, like, horribly written. There's nothing extremely cringe about her. She's just a child who's overly excited about everything, who also happens to have a bit of a split personality, as you find out later in the game. And a lot more going on. Which, I mean, to be fair, giant tube you find her in, if that wasn't good enough of an example of what the game had to hold, oh boy, do I have something surprising for you. This game story gets wacky. But on to our next character. Our next character I want to talk about is kind of a bit of a, I thought was going to be a throwaway character during playing it. But then I realized that he was also in the opening. So I was like, well, maybe he's more to the game. And that would happen to be Jasper. Our boy, Jasper. Jasper is a character I honestly kind of like. I thought his design overall was dorky and stupid in a way, but he's a fun character. Jasper is honestly just, I don't know how to describe him. He journeys with us during the game, and for what little he does, he gets more and more broken as a man, and he he is just a fun character. He clearly does not belong here in this world, in my opinion. He is precious. And I'm not a fan of clownish characters to say, but Jasper is he holds a special place in my heart. This guy is so dorky, and I honestly like his design. I think it fits for what they were going for. The Sam being oblivious to anything that any of the characters are like is also just really cute. But God, I loved voicing Jasper in my playthrough. I honestly really liked him. He's a lot deeper of a character as the story goes on, in my opinion. He doesn't show a lot of his, what I'd like to say is his true self or his true feelings until you leave, kinda. And I honestly think that he's just good. That's all. There's not much to say. No spoils, guys. I feel like the next character I have to talk about is mostly Alva. I'm probably not pronouncing her name right, but Alva is the scientist or the princess, as we learn while going further throughout the game. And she is known as the princess to pretty much stop the Mishima. She's the guardian of New Dam City, which is important to a certain degree. And I cannot mention Alva without also mentioning her, well, pretty much her partner in arms, which is Isabel. Which you can see right there, that little person just kind of, standing there. You can't see where my mouse is pointing, but right there, that's Isabel. Isabel and Alva's relationship is honestly cute to watch throughout the game. It is a guardian mentality. Isabel is the knight of the princess and sees herself as such, and I like it. It's a cute dynamic, and what little time we get to spend with them, and in the longevity of the time we spend with them as well, it feels genuinely like we become integrated into their family. Alva is, how do I put it? She loves Sam. She envies Sam and John both for going out there and doing what they love to do, or, well, just adventuring in general. She craves it, and it's something that Alva doesn't get to do. I just dropped a bunch of stuff in my floor. I'm gonna have to ignore that for now. But yeah, and Isabel doesn't want Alva to get hurt, but also understands the importance of it. However, Isabel is overly protective of this aspect. Isabel will do anything to ensure Alva's safety. And honestly, it came back in a way that I didn't even predict. And I predict a lot of things in a game and in shows and in anything. I'm going to tell you people right now, I did not predict what was going to happen in the climax of these two. And I think it is worth playing the game just to find out what happens. It is so good. They are both great characters. They're so much fun. There's so much energy with them. I mean, look at that. They're just so fun. I had such a good time getting to meet these two characters. They're so cool. The next two characters I wish to talk about is Daniel and William. William is a man that we learn about early on in the game. He's a smart man who is the father of one of the children in Pickrell Isles. I cannot pronounce the name. Please don't at me. Or do. William is a very bright man, but he was allegedly exiled around the time the story happens for you. But the truth is, he wanted adventure to some extent and left. He is accompanied with a small robot man named Daniel. He's not actually a man, but he's a boy who wants to fix his problems and issues because he doesn't understand why he's so strong and what have you. William's a bit of a, cheat, if I'm being honest. He comes off very sly, cheats you out of a lot of things, kinda. But he honestly he pays off for when he counts. I think William is a great character. He is part of the reason why we can even continue the train ride going forward on the tracks without Charon completely destroying us. And ultimately, Daniel is just a treat as well. He's a funny little robot dude. And if you like robots, well, he is the robot dude for you. uh, and coming up into the end here, and let me just put this to full screen so it's more aesthetically pleasing. We are going to talk about the overall game design and the story to an extent. I'm not going to spoil too much, but I'm going to explain how I feel about the story to a certain degree. Because I definitely cried once I beat this game. I ugly cried for a good minute. It's up on stream. I promise you guys can always go check it out if you want. Link somewhere close to the end of the video. But ultimately, the overall game design of the game is really aesthetically pleasing. It's just really good to look at. Not to mention, you have horrifying things like this. I love horror that's not like full-on jump scare like Dead by Daylight or whatever, and Resident Evil, which I may never play because I'm a little baby bitch boy. But this game had the horror of like show and not tell, essentially. Where it would show things like this, and that you see in the background here. These incubators, these breeder pods, which came out of left field for me. I wasn't expecting to see more of these things. I didn't expect more were out there. But the game's like, nah, this is the story, guys, and you're going to sit there and you're going to eat it and you're going to enjoy it. And to say that I didn't enjoy it would be a lie, because the game being a bit darker, the story being a bit darker, 100% worth it. I loved it. The story does amazing. It hits hard. The atmosphere is aesthetically pleasing when it needs to be. It changes, sceneries, all good. Everything, honestly, it works, it clicks, and it makes me so happy to have even played the game. Another note is the music. The music in this game is amazing. I cannot deny, I love this music, and you're probably listening to some of it right now, because I probably have it up in the background. I can't lie, this music's so good. It makes me so happy. I feel like 2 o'clock in the morning. What time is it? Oh god, it's 2:30. I am tired. I'm beat. I've had sensory overload after beating this game today. And yes, I'm recording this of the day of me beating it. Or I guess the day afterwards, since it's 2:30 in the morning. But the game is silly. It's fun. And I don't see a lot of people talk about it. Like, why don't a lot of people talk about this game? This is a modern masterpiece at best, and ultimately my review of this game is like I said at the beginning of the video, is Eastward worth playing? And in my honest opinion, if you got through all my rambling and are now here at the end of the video, yes, this game is worth playing. God, yes. I don't even remember how much it was worth on Steam, but I would gladly pay $60 for this. It's a great gaming experience. Half of the things I experienced in this game made me like go to my friends and go, guys, y'all need to try this game, please. And I shoved it down their throats. I'm like, you need to try this game. It is unlike any other game I've played. It is very unique. It's very quirky. It's very funny. Some of the dialogue with the characters is just absolutely nutty. And, I mean, there's even a video game in the game. If you get bored with playing the actual game and you want longer game, You can play Earthborn, a game that's in the in-game universe. And you even you get to play it. You can play the game, and it's just fun. I honestly think that people who play Final Fantasy, for example, or old school Final Fantasy, would like playing this game just to play Earthborn. Honest to God, hand on the book, I think that people who play like old school Final Fantasy would love this game. But yeah, no, this game is 100% worth it. If I had to rate this game 1 out of 10, I would give it a 9.5 out of 10. With my only complaints being that sometimes my controls were a bit busted, but I think that was due to the part of me using a mouse and keyboard where the game recommends you use a controller. I think this is honestly a 10 out of 10 game. If I used a controller, that is. I truthfully believe it deserves that. It deserves that title. I'm sorry, it's really late. My sensory overload is broken. But is the game good? Yes. Is it fun? Yes. You can sit here and play this game for as long as you want. I was too invested in the story. I kept going forward because I thought I would be in the second area that you get into a lot longer, and I wasn't. I ended up being there a lot shorter than I thought, and so I had to force myself to take my time more, especially at New Dam, because I wanted to make sure I got everything. Because there's a lot of stuff that you can miss, and there's a lot of secrets that the game hides. Like, I got to fight cows that were like space cow things that teleported around and shot stuff at me, which was like, what? But it was fun, you know? Is the game worth it? Yes. Do I think people need to be talking about Eastward more? Yes. I mean, I know the game, I believe the game is like a year or two old, but I mean, I never even heard of it. I found it on Steam by accident and was like, man, this game looks like it'd be fun. I'm gonna try it out. And I do not regret it. Like, bro, they can have my money, okay? This is such a good game. And I'm so happy that I got to play it and even try it. And if anyone stuck around this long to the end of the video, thank you for watching. This game is rated a 9.5 out of 10 from me. This is the first ever review I've done. I don't expect more in the future. I don't know how to feel about this, but I just thought I thought I would express how I felt about the game and the love I have for it. It is a lot of fun, and I truthfully think people need to give it a try if you haven't already. A lot of collectibles, a lot of secrets, and a lot of hidden lore. But ultimately, this is where I close my chapter of Eastward, for I have beaten it. And now I wait for another game that I can play and hopefully enjoy just as much. I doubt I will find something that made me cry at the end of it like this game did, or made me feel for any of the characters like this game did. But you know what? That's just life, ain't it? I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, it would mean a lot. Gently caress the like button. Leave me a comment down below if you've played the game. I want to know. I want to know if people's played this game. It's something crazy. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Have a great Christmas or Happy New Year. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching my video. Please check out everything else. Hit that like and subscribe button. Comment down below what you want me to do next. Goodbye.